extreme cold apocalypse, slapping the ungrateful family who killed me in my past life. Before the extreme weather apocalypse arrived, my sister and I were both reborn. In my previous life, because I angered my sister, I was kicked out of the house during a heat wave and eventually died on the way to the safe zone. In this reborn life, under my sister's guidance, the whole family prepared supplies for the scorching heat apocalypse without my knowledge. Looking at the freezers, popsicles, and fans they prepared, I pulled a cold smile at the corner of my mouth. How can these shoddy things resist the extreme cold apocalypse of -70 degrees? Today is September 23rd, 2065. In the next week, the city will experience a warming trend. Listening to the voice from the TV and feeling the warm blood flowing in my body, I realized that I had been reborn. September 23rd, 2065, was exactly 2 years before my death and 1 month before the apocalypse. It was not too late. Lyra, hurry up and come sign. A sharp scream interrupted my thoughts. Looking at the woman with exquisite makeup and an impatient expression who appeared before me, my own sister, Ren, I could barely contain the hatred surging in my eyes. In my previous life, when the temperature started to rise uncontrollably, I keenly sensed the signs of the apocalypse and stored a lot of supplies in advance. Soon, the water stopped, and the power supply became intermittent. The entire city was completely paralyzed. In the city, violent incidents sparked by a bit of drinking water or a piece of bread happen every day. Seeing this, I felt extremely alarmed. At the same time, counting the supplies stored at home, I also felt extremely fortunate, thinking that we could get through these toughest months with these supplies. But Ren started causing trouble. One late night, she poured all of our family's drinking water into the bathtub, cleaned herself up, and then went to see the man she longed for with a large pile of supplies. When the whole family woke up, they only saw Ren, who was acting indifferent and infatuated with a photo of her crush. It's just some water. Lyra, hurry up and get some more for me. I brought food and drinks for Manuel yesterday. He confessed to me yesterday, and we're meeting again tomorrow night. Seeing that the supplies at home had suddenly halved, I was furious and slapped her a few times. But when I turned around, my biased parents beat me severely, and the whole family kicked me out of the house, covered in injuries. Who gave you the guts to hit Xinyi? You're not allowed back until you find more supplies. Seeing me just spacing out with a cold expression, my mother, Zhao Shulan, reached out and shoved me hard. What are you standing around for? Hurry up and sign the papers. Seeing me take the house transfer agreement from Ren's hand, Zhao Shulan's eyes lit up with joy, and she said smugly, once the house is transferred to Ren's name, and she finds a live-in son-in-law, your dad and I will finally have something to rely on in our later years. From a young age, I went to the provincial capital to attend high school because of my good grades. After going to university, I went abroad for an exchange program funded by the state. I only returned to work recently. My sister, on the other hand, grew up by our parents' side. She attended a vocational college in China and couldn't find a job after graduation, so she had to rely on them at home. For so many years, I felt guilty towards my parents. Therefore, after returning to China, I've always given them whatever they asked for, which is why I agreed to transfer my house to Ren's name. I thought that since we were both daughters, my parents treated me and Ren the same, but I never expected that when a survival crisis struck, I would be the one they would unhesitatingly and quickly abandon. So, if I get another chance, I've decided not to be their selfless blood bag anymore. I let out a cold laugh and tore the agreement into pieces, saying, I paid the down payment and the mortgage, so why should it be transferred to her name? Zhao Shulan's joyous expression was instantly replaced by fury. You ungrateful brat, your wings have really hardened. She sat on the ground and started wailing at me. You're out there living it up, and your sister has been taking care of our filial duties for so many years. She doesn't even have a place of her own, and she'll be looked down upon by her in-laws in the future. Lyra, you really are a heartless, ungrateful wretch. My sister Ren looked at me as if she wanted to breathe fire. In the past, whenever they brought up filial piety or ungrateful wretch, they could always easily control me. But now, I won't be held hostage by these intangible things anymore. Ungrateful wretch. I'll gladly be this unfilial daughter then. I ignored the two of them performing on the ground and walked straight into the room to pack my things. Seeing that her usual winning tactics had failed, Zhao Shulan immediately flew into a rage and scrambled up from the ground, roaring at me, "Lyra, if you don't sign the house transfer agreement today, then don't ever come back to this home." After packing my things, I looked at them expressionlessly. "Fine, then you can just pretend you never had a daughter like me." "Lyra, what do you mean by that?" Her face finally showed panic. "What I mean is," I leaned closer to her and said word by word, "from now on, I'm cutting off all ties with your Gu family." Under their shocked gazes, I turned, opened the door, and left. The apocalypse is about to arrive, and now is the time to race against the clock. I don't have time for false pleasantries with these venomous people. After leaving the mall, I went straight to a nearby real estate agency. "Hello, I want to sell this apartment in Changyunyuan, and I need to sell it quickly." "Okay, ma'am, but if you need to sell it fast, the price might be a bit lower," the agent said patiently. "It's okay. It's best to sell it within a week. Also, please help me rent a place, preferably the best quality high-rise building." In my previous life, after half a year of high temperatures, there was continuous rainfall for a month, and the water level rose to the 4th or 5th floor. Then came extreme cold and snowfall, and people on lower floors were essentially frozen in an ice cellar. The apartment I own is an old, small, ground floor unit in the city center. It's not enough to deal with the apocalypse. I bought it back then because it was in the building next to my parents' house, so I could take care of them easily. Now, I wish I could get as far away from these heartless vampires as possible. "Okay, ma'am, we can go see the apartment now." The agent immediately locked onto a new development in the city that was delivered last year, according to my requirements. "Ms. Gu, you see, the floor and quality of this apartment meet your expectations." Looking at this duplex high-rise, I nodded silently in my heart. It was developed by the most reputable developer in the country, with a total area of over 500 square meters, enough to store plenty of supplies. The walls and glass all have insulation layers, plus the indoor fireplace. Even more surprisingly, the developer also equipped each unit with solar panels on the balcony, which can effectively deal with the energy shortage in the later stages of the apocalypse. I readily paid 3 years' rent, then rushed to the renovation company in the adjacent district and hired a team of renovation workers to further insulate and reinforce the house. After paying double wages, I supervised the busy workers while ordering various products on shopping websites using my phone. 50 bags each of rice and flour, and 50 boxes each of self-heating hot pot, self-heating rice, self-heating noodles, instant noodles, and spicy hot and sour noodles, to supplement the daily protein intake. I also purchased 50 boxes each of various long-term storable meats like cured sausages, cured meat, salted meat, beef jerky, dried fish slices, dried shrimp, dried scallops, and dried abalone. Vegetables are also essential. I bought 50 gene each of long-term storable vegetables like Chinese cabbage, potatoes, radishes, winter melon, and pumpkin, stored properly. They can last for several months. However, to ensure vitamin intake in the later stages of the apocalypse, I ordered more dried green beans, black fungus, dried shiitake mushrooms, morel mushrooms, and bamboo fungus, and I got 100 boxes of various freeze-dried vegetable packs, my favorite snacks, 80 boxes each of potato chips, chocolate, beef tendon, and pork jerky. Over the next few days, I rushed around the city again, buying quite a few common medicines and medical equipment, wind generators, and diesel generators, all sorts of vegetable seeds, common kitchenware, tap water purifiers, as well as shampoo, toilet paper, sanitary napkins, and other daily necessities were stocked up for several years. Finally, I went to the hardware store again and bought quite a few self-defense equipment like stun guns and chainsaws. After finishing these errands, lying on the soft and comfortable king-size bed of a 5-star hotel, I felt a long, lost relaxation, but a ringing phone call interrupted my leisure and comfort. Seeing the caller ID, I blurted out how unlucky it was. "Lyra, get back here immediately." I heard my father Ilara's furious voice from the receiver. Didn't Ren tell you? I've severed ties with you now. We paid for your schooling for so many years, and you're just cutting ties now. Zhao Shulan fanned the flames from the side. Mom, hurry up and get her to transfer the money. We don't have much time and need to prepare a lot of things. Amidst the noisy voices on the other end, I keenly caught Ren's voice. Alara roared, "You ungrateful brat. You can ditch us, but pay us 2 million first." I snickered. 2 million? You can wait. Lyra, you're so heartless and unrighteous to your own relatives. Aren't you afraid I'll go to your company and expose you online? Ren said gloomily. Yeah. Can you still keep your high-paying executive job with an annual salary of millions then? I laughed at the camera nonchalantly. Go ahead. I've already decided to resign today. I won't be your blood bag anymore, nor a slave to capitalists. After saying that, I immediately hung up the phone, ignoring the enraged looks of the 3 people opposite me. But Ren's words kept echoing in my mind. I turned on the monitor I had installed at home a long time ago. On the screen, Alara angrily threw his phone to the ground. I was right. Lyra is an ungrateful wolf. That's right. Fortunately, we've gotten quite a bit of money from her over the years. Over 400,000 now. Zhao Shulan looked at Ren beside her. Cinny, is the high-temperature apocalypse you mentioned real? Should this money be enough for us? My heart sank. As expected, Ren had also been reborn. Ren impatiently pushed Zhao Shulan away. Of course it's real. Tomorrow, news of a top celebrity's infidelity will definitely break. You'll know I was telling the truth then. Zhao Shulan fawningly leaned forward again. Of course we believe you. How should we prepare? Reinforce the house. Water, food, refrigerator, air conditioner, generator, fan. None of these can be missing. It's best to store more ice cubes. Ren counted on her fingers. Not enough. Not enough. 400,000 is far from enough. Buying these things. 100,000 is more than enough. Alara asked confusedly from the side. Honey, why do you say it's not enough? You don't know. In my past life, a bucket of water could be exchanged for a gold bar, and a box of instant noodles could be worth a life. Her eyes were filled with intense hatred and ambition. This time I absolutely won't lose my life over a little food again. I must become the king of apocalypse supplies. The 2 beside them had their eyes wide open after hearing how valuable apocalypse supplies were. Zhao Shulan's face was full of greed. That's right. That's right. We stockpile more food and drinks, and then sell them to others. After the high temperature ends, won't we be billionaires? How long will the high temperature last? Alara asked. Ren said unwillingly. About half a year. On the day I died, it had already started to cool down and rain. A cold smile hooked the corner of my mouth. So after driving me out in my past life, Ren died even earlier than me. She had no idea that after a brief cooling period, a long extreme cold apocalypse would follow. Then this little money isn't enough. It needs at least 2 million. Zhao Shulan said worriedly. It doesn't matter if she's stingy. Isn't her house still here? After saying that, Ren's lips curved into a cold smile. Her house can sell for at least 5 million. Think of how much supplies we can buy then. Watching this family in the camera already calculating this non-existent 5 million, I was extremely grateful that I had already sold the house early. The payment had long been credited to my account. The next day, I went to the duplex apartment. The insulation, protection, and window reinforcement had all been delivered, and the generator and fireplace were also installed. I was satisfied and paid the engineering team the final payment, along with a 100,000 yuan bonus. Although it was already early October, the temperature had risen to an abnormal 42 degrees. When they went out, the workers thanked me while wiping their sweat. I solemnly instructed them to stock up on more supplies and medicine, and to stop working for a while if the weather got too hot. The construction team went home happily with their bonuses. I checked the supplies in each room one by one, and after making a list, I went to the mall to purchase over 10 sets of clothes for each season, and also bought quite a bit of fitness equipment like treadmills, elliptical trainers, and dumbbells. After the shopping, I arranged for home delivery with the mall manager. Just as I exited the mall, it was noon, and the temperature had already soared to 48 degrees. I drove to the entrance of Hope Orphanage in the Old Town area. In my past life, after being kicked out of my home by my parents, I fainted here, cold and hungry, after eating the biscuits I had secretly hidden. Fortunately, I was rescued. When I woke up, a young girl was feeding me porridge. Seeing that I was awake, she joyfully called for the director, Teacher Lin. From the director's description, I learned that the orphanage had a cellar where the temperature could barely be maintained at -10 degrees Celsius. And, before the apocalypse, the orphanage had just received a lot of supplies donated by a charity foundation. So after the extreme temperatures hit, the director organized the children to move all the supplies into the cellar. It's a good thing we moved them in time. That very night, a group of people broke into the orphanage under the cover of darkness and smashed everything upstairs. The director and the children breathed a sigh of relief as if they had narrowly escaped death. After that, I lived in the orphanage's cellar. Apart from the director, Teacher Shin, who was over 50 years old, all the children in the orphanage were under 12 years old. As the only young and strong laborer, I quickly took on tasks like repairs and starting fires. However, the supplies stored in the orphanage were limited, despite our utmost efforts to save them. The day finally came when we ran out of everything. The director and I, along with the children, could only carry a small amount of supplies and go outside to look for a chance to survive. Then, we all froze to death on the road. This time, I absolutely will not let the tragedy repeat itself. Just as I was wondering how to start the conversation, she, with tears in her eyes, reached out and pulled me into her embrace. And so I knew, she had also been reborn. I seemed to have had a very long and real dream. It wasn't until I saw you just now that I knew it was more than just a dream. The dean's voice choked, patted her back. Linjia, it's okay. We still have time this time. She smiled through tears and held my hand. I must protect you all well. Under my arrangement, the dean and the children quickly packed the essentials. And in the evening, they moved into the duplex apartment I had prepared for them. It was already close to 6 o'clock, but the temperature showed no signs of dropping, firmly maintained at around 45 degrees. The children had traveled a long way, their heads covered in sweat. After entering the comfortably temperature-controlled indoor space, they were all extremely comfortable. The house was very large. Lin Jie exclaimed in surprise as she looked at the supplies piled up on the second floor. Xiaogu, when did you get back? You've prepared so much. Curved my lips, like a proud puppy. Hasn't been that long. Really, as soon as I had these ready, I came to find you. What if I didn't know about my past life? What if I didn't believe you? I smiled, looking at the temperature. It will probably rise to 50 degrees in 3 days. So today, whether by trickery or by force, I had to bring you here no matter what. Lin Jie helplessly tapped my nose and then, together with me, started arranging the accommodation for the children. The second floor of the duplex apartment is mainly used for storing supplies, and also has many generators, solar panels, large water purifiers, etc., so there are no heating and cooling devices. The first floor serves as our main living area, with many rooms. After settling the children, it was already past 10 o'clock. I opened the curtains and found that the sun had not yet set at this time. Lin Jie and I put our heads together. The apocalypse is about to arrive, and there won't be many opportunities to go out to eat. So, I drove the car with the children to the city's largest seafood restaurant, preparing to feast. Unexpectedly, I saw the Gu family here. In the private room, the children were feasting. I walked to the door wanting to find a waiter to pick out a few more large lobsters, but accidentally heard a familiar voice at the door of the next private room. What? You're saying the property deed for that house is lost? Ren screamed. Zhao Shulan's angry voice came from inside. Yes, I searched the whole house today, and it's gone. I also tried calling that brat, but couldn't get through. Alara also chimed in. I don't know when the lock was changed either. I went to knock, but there were strangers inside, and I was scolded too. Lyra must have sold the house, that heartless one. So what should we do? Ren, how much money do you have left after your shopping today? Zhao Shulan asked. Ren said irritably, it's probably only tens of thousands of yuan. You bought so many refrigerators, air conditioners, and electric fans, plus ice cream, instant noodles, and various ready-to-eat meals. They'll be delivered tomorrow. Got it. I've put all the extra stuff in the basement. I've reinforced all the door locks today. Ren, don't worry. Ren snorted impatiently and made a voice call to me using a short video app. I looked at my ringing phone and smiled helplessly. Despite all my precautions, I forgot to block this app. Since I'm in a good mood today, I actually want to see what other tricks they have up their sleeves. I walked a few steps away and answered the call. Ren's loud scream immediately came from the other side. Lyra, did you sell the house? Yes. Can't I sell my own house? What are you barking about? I calmly walked to the window. Shinrua, the weather's been hot these past couple of days, and Mom and Dad are both sick. Can you send the money? Mom needs to buy some good things to recover her health. Zhao Shulan took the phone and, as usual, started to play the weak card. Okay. Seeing that I agreed so readily, the people on the other side were overjoyed. That's more like it. As long as you're willing to send the money, we'll let you move back tomorrow. I opened the chat app, took the three of them out of the blacklist, and sent a red envelope in the family group chat. What? Only 8.8. After clicking, Gu Pengfei accused me angrily. You little brat, your house sold for at least 5 million, and you're giving us this little money to appease us. I sneered. Dad, when I first went to the beautiful country, I didn't have money to eat and got stomach cramps. I called you wanting to borrow some living expenses, and you only sent me 8.8, right? The three people on the other side were silent for a second. A small favor can become a great debt. Gu Shinrua, are you really settling accounts so clearly with your family? Your parents shouldn't have given birth to you. These same few lines, I'm so tired of hearing them. Do you guys have anything new? If not, I'm hanging up. As long as you're willing to give money, we'll agree to let you come back. Do you know what the situation will be in a few days? You'll regret it if you don't come back. Come back. I'm on vacation in City right now, and it's very comfortable. I'm not going back. To avoid their endless harassment, I deliberately said I was out of town. I couldn't be bothered with her and hung up the phone directly. After taking the children home to rest, Lin Jie and I took stock of the supplies. In addition to what I had prepared, she also brought a lot of supplies from the orphanage, including various tools, seeds, and food. These supplies will be enough for us for 2 years, I said with satisfaction. I was lying on the soft and comfortable big bed in the bedroom, but suddenly I had no sleepiness at all. Gu Sini's sharp cries were always in my ears. You will definitely regret it. I opened the home camera software and saw 3 people in the lens busily arranging supplies. Mom and Dad, quickly move all these mineral water and instant noodles to the underground storage room. Gu Sini sat on the sofa hugging a watermelon and watching TV, constantly giving instructions to her busy parents. And those desserts that need to be frozen, quickly put them all in the refrigerator. If they go bad, what will I eat later? Zhao Shulan kept responding. While massaging her waist with one hand, she piled ice cream, ice milk, milkshakes, cakes, etc., on the ground into the refrigerator. Gu Pengfei ran dozens of trips to the basement and finally arranged all the room temperature stored supplies in the basement. He collapsed on the sofa, constantly complaining. It's all because of this ungrateful wretch, who is living a carefree life all by himself outside, while we, at our age, still have to do such heavy physical labor. Wife, you have to give me a good massage tonight. He yelled in the direction of the kitchen. Mom and Dad, you've worked hard. Come and eat watermelon. Gu Sini said condescendingly, pushing the leftover watermelon towards Gu Pengfei's arms after seeing the old couple had almost finished organizing everything in the house. Alara worked all day, hot and tired, and now his eyes were brimming with tears. Ren, we really didn't dote on you in vain. You are 10,000 times better than your sister. No matter how tired Dad is, it's worth it. Looking at the picture of the family of 3 in the camera, with fatherly love and filial piety, I almost threw up. It's been like this since I was little. I do all the chores at home, but Ren only needs to say a few sweet words, and my parents can only see her. In the past, I would still be unconvinced and want to study hard, work hard, and pay for them with all my might to gain a little place in their hearts. But in my previous life, amidst my tearful pleas, they still mercilessly kicked me out of the house. From that moment on, my heart completely turned into solid ice. This time around, I just want to protect myself and the people who care about me. The next day, I slept until I woke up naturally. After getting up, I ate the pan, fried buns and beef vermicelli soup prepared by Lin Jie. From the study room came the sound of several children reading storybooks, and my eyes narrowed with happiness. Xiaogu, look at the news. The temperature outside has already reached 50 degrees. Lin Jie frowned, looking at her phone. I quickly turned on the TV. Sure enough, the morning news had already started reminding citizens to stock up on food, try not to go out, and prepare for cooling and heatstroke prevention. This time the temperature seems even higher than in my previous life. I watched the short videos playing on my phone, showing people rushing to grab supplies in supermarkets and internet celebrities frying eggs on the road. Lin Jie, let's not go out starting today. I looked out the window. It was only 9 a.m., but the sun was already high in the sky, scorching the earth. There was hardly anyone on the road. Lin Jie nodded, turned, and went into the study to comfort the children. I ate my delicious breakfast, but my mood started to turn heavy. The temperature this life was soaring even faster than in the previous life. I wondered if there would be any changes in the future. I opened my phone and saw that various group chats were filled with discussions about the temperature. Great, I can finally take paid leave at home. I've been working 996 for so long, and now I can finally get some good sleep. It's so hard to order takeout now. No one has accepted the order for an hour. Brother, you gotta pay more. I added 100 yuan and someone finally delivered it. We really need to stock up on more supplies. This weather is unusual. Upstairs, the supermarket is already out of everything. I just squeezed in for a while and only managed to buy some vermicelli. It's all empty. At the same time, seeing news reports about soaring temperatures and shortages of supplies everywhere, I knew the apocalypse had arrived. In the first few days, many people were still glad they could work from home. But as the temperature kept rising, the daylight hours got longer, their stored food dwindled, and all takeout and delivery services ground to a halt. Everyone panicked. One day, I was watching an English movie with the children when I suddenly received a video call invitation from Ren. The woman on the other side of the screen was dressed lightly, holding a large tub of imported ice cream. Lounging comfortably on the sofa, opposite her, Alara was drinking iced beer, while Zhao Shulan was by the side, organizing ice cubes in the refrigerator. Lyra, let me see if you're starving to death or dying of heat right now, Ren said triumphantly. I pretended to be surprised and said, how is there still ice cream now? Where can I buy it? I rubbed my red cheeks. I'm about to die of heat. Ren, carried away by her triumph, got up from the sofa, flipped the camera, and pointed it at a room filled with 5 refrigerators, stocked with all sorts of frozen drinks, desserts, frozen food, meat, and more. Ha ha ha, didn't expect this. Lyra, the apocalypse is here. What's the use of all those degrees and executive jobs you've always been so proud of? She vented her jealousy towards me freely into the camera. In this world, having resources is king. This time, it's finally your turn to lose to me. Ha ha ha. The family opposite burst into laughter, and I interrupted them. Where did you get so many resources? I can't buy anything over here. You idiot. In this high-temperature apocalypse, you ran off to Hainan. Our Ren is the chosen one, and she led us to stock up on so much food and supplies in advance. Zhao Shulan said triumphantly, Shinrua, if you are willing to transfer the money from selling the house, then we can give you some things. No, not enough. Gu Sini snatched the phone and roared ferociously at the camera, including all the real estate, stocks, and cash under your name. If you can kneel down and beg me, I will consider giving you something to eat every day. I coldly watched their greedy faces. These were the relatives I treated with money and my heart's blood. But in their eyes, I was worse than an ATM. Heh, Gu Sini, you finally said what's on your mind. But I'm going to disappoint you. Even if I die of heat or starvation, I will never step foot in the Gu family's house again. After speaking, I slammed down the phone with a snap. A week later, the temperature soared to 70 degrees. Even worse, the water and electricity supply became intermittent, with power only available half the time each day. No electricity meant the air conditioning and fans couldn't run properly. I saw in the group chat that a large number of people were suffering from heatstroke and fainting. Everyone could only use ice to cool down. Countless people were posting for help in the group, begging for a little food and medicine. while the Gu family still hadn't said anything in the group. I knew they were waiting. Right now, supplies weren't that valuable. When people started starving, that's when she would make her move. They were going to hoard the supplies and sell them at a higher price. So, the next time the mother asked for help in the group chat, I sent the screen recording of the video Gu Sini sent me last time, and the group chat exploded instantly. 102. You have so many supplies. Why don't you share some with everyone? Please, our family has nothing left, and the child is crying from hunger. Let's go. Our families will go knock on their door. I opened the monitor software, and loud noises came from the house. Many hungry neighbors had already gathered outside the door. Gu Sini and the others trembled inside the door. That is the construction team you hired reliable. The door is about to be smashed open. I don't know. It's all Gu Xinrua's fault for being a traitor, attracting so many people. Gu Pengfei angrily searched for weapons in the house. More and more people gathered outside, until the door frame began to shake slightly. Gu Sini finally didn't dare to gamble anymore. She shouted at the door, "Stop arguing. If you want supplies, pay up." Immediately after, a long price list was posted in the WeChat group. Old altar sauerkraut noodles 5,000 a pack. Mineral water 1,000 a bottle. Juice 2,000 a cup. Ice cream 10,000 a cone. Ibuprofen 10,000 a tablet. This is too expensive. 102. Are you guys crazy for money? Many people complained about the Gu family's greed, and the mother of the sick child had already transferred 50,000 yuan in the group. I want 3 ibuprofen, and water and instant noodles. Zhao Shulan quickly accepted the transfer. 602. Please wait a moment. I'll send the items to your balcony by drone. I'll send you the password privately. After speaking, amidst the mother's profuse thanks, she arrogantly said, "The apocalypse has arrived. You poor people shouldn't complain about the prices. It's already good that someone is selling things." In the following months, the community chat group became a goldmine for the Gu family. Due to the lack of competition, their pricing was entirely based on their mood. 2,000 for a pack of noodles, 5,000 for a box of self-heating hot pot were commonplace. If you think it's expensive, don't buy it. It will only be more expensive tomorrow. There is only one illness in this world, and that is poverty. Although our community is old, it is a famous school district in this area, and many residents are wealthy young parents. Therefore, although many people complained in the group that the Gu family was black-hearted, their business was still booming. Due to the persistently high temperatures, people from many other communities even came here, and the community where I live now, being newly delivered, has few residents, and it's positioned as high, and there are only 16 units in the entire building, and less than 13 of them have been occupied. In our unit, there is only a retired elderly couple whose children are abroad year-round. They send a lot of supplies during holidays, so their home has enough supplies to last for several months. There is also a young girl who is a food streamer. When the high temperature started, she and her assistant were still live, streaming eating hot pot. After the power and water were cut off, the old couple proactively asked if we needed supplies. The young girl directly said their family snacks could last until next year, and we also said we didn't need any. It wasn't until the power went out and Grandma's son had heatstroke that Linjie and I discussed it and gave their 2 families a solar panel each. We know that people's hearts are unpredictable in the apocalypse, but I really can't be hard-hearted and watch others die. On this day, our whole family gathered together to drink soup. I looked at the daily temperature records and solemnly said to everyone, the high temperature should be ending soon. Last time, the temperature stayed at 70 degrees for a month before it started raining. It's been over 20 days now. The children cheered happily. It's finally ending. It's too hot. Lin Jie and I looked at each other, only able to give a wry smile. What's coming next is the even more difficult and longer extreme cold apocalypse. I opened the old neighborhood chat group that had been muted for a long time, and I witnessed a shocking scene. Due to the limited supplies stored in this household, all supplies will be sold through auction starting today. A bottle of mineral water. Starting bid 3,000. I want it. 3,500. My family ran out of water 3 days ago. 4,500. Give it to me, Ren. I turned on the monitor at home. and Zhao Shulan and Ren were laughing heartily at their phones. Ren, you're the resourceful one. In another week, it's going to rain, and we still have so much stuff in the settlement. This is the only way to make those idiots willingly pay more and clear out the inventory. These idiots. Ha ha ha. Mom, how much money does our family have now? At least this much, plus all these gold bars, jewelry, and luxury goods, Zhao Shulan said, unable to contain her joy as she looked at the piles of things in the closet. As soon as the temperature drops, we'll move out immediately and buy a few lakeside villas. While Ilara was envisioning their future extravagant life, he started another auction for self-heating rice in the group. For the past few days, I've been keeping an eye on the messages in this group. As the prices of supplies kept rising, fewer people could afford them, and everyone's resentment grew heavier. We tolerated 1,000 for water, but now you want 5,000. Ren, aren't you afraid of going to jail for making this ill-gotten money? Please, don't bid against me for medicine. My mom has had a high fever for days. Tag Ilara, are you enjoying eating these eating steamed buns? I silently noted down the names of these resistors and then created a group chat for them. Do we just have to starve if we don't have money? I plan to go to 102 tonight. If I can't pry it open in a day, can't I pry it open in 10 days? Take me with you. Me too. I can't stand this humiliating situation anymore. Seeing everyone in the group was furious. I said something at the right time. Actually, if you think about it carefully, their house is just that big. Where would they get the space to store so many supplies? That makes sense. Do they have other warehouses at their place? I typed out the words, basement, and sent them. That makes sense. I'm from 201, and sometimes I hear noises downstairs in the early morning. Could they be secretly transporting things up from the basement? Exactly. We're going now, sisters and brothers. See you in the basement, as expected. An hour later, everyone in the small group posted videos. In a 20-something square meter basement, it was piled high with all sorts of food, drinking water, and medicine. Everyone was both surprised and delighted. Everyone, neighbors, don't rush to grab. Let's distribute these supplies to each family based on headcount. Everyone in the group agreed, and with everyone's joint efforts to allocate, it took less than half a day for them to clear out all the stock. Just as Gu Sini's family was still dreaming of getting rich, they suddenly found that no one was interested in the group's auctions. 1,000 yuan for mineral water, 2,000 yuan for spicy beef noodles. Starting the auction now. The usual enthusiastic Changgo, frenzied buying did not appear. The group was silent. I was at my desk helping the kids with illustrations when a girl excitedly looked out the window. Sister Shinrua, look, the sun set at 8 o'clock today. Everyone was extremely excited. Since the apocalypse began, the sun had never set before 10 o'clock. Could today's early sunset mean the scorching heat was finally coming to an end? I walked to the second floor, opened the balcony door, and reached out my hand. Although the weather was still over 60 degrees, I felt a faint breeze. Whether it was my imagination or not, rain is coming. Lin Jie patted my shoulder from behind. We immediately took the children to fill the prepared sandbags with sand, and in the darkness, we thoroughly cleared the drainage outlets on the patio. I used my phone to remind the old couple and the live streaming sisters to be prepared for heavy rainfall in the next 2 days. Lin Jie had already sent a few children out to deliver some sandbags and reminded them to place them on the patio before the rain to prevent water from entering the house. After finishing these tasks, I finally had time to check the chat records of the old community group. Bottled water big sale, 100 yuan a bottle, ibuprofen 500 yuan a piece. After days of no one showing interest, Ren finally started lowering her prices. But it only earned her sarcastic remarks in the group. We are all poor ghosts. How can we afford your noble food? Yo. The great rich person can't sit still and is lowering prices. Friends, open your windows and try. It's windy. The temperature has dropped a bit today. The scorching heat might be ending soon. How could this happen? Just as I opened the monitor, I heard Ren scream, how can this group of idiots last so long? And suddenly they don't want to buy anything. There must be something fishy going on. Zhao Shulan sighed and said, it's really getting windy, and the temperature has dropped. My darling, is the apocalypse ending? Yes, The temperature will drop every day from now on. And there will be rainfall too. Gu Xiane anxiously said, looking out the window. There's still so much stuff in the basement that hasn't been sold yet. Won't it be stuck in our hands? It's okay. We can't spend all our money in this lifetime. Haha. Gu Pengfei said happily, comforting himself by looking at his phone balance. I looked at the ugly faces of the few people on the screen and sneered in my heart. Let them be smug for a few more days. Hardship is coming soon. As we wished, in the following days, widespread rainfall began. At first, everyone was cheering. The half-year-long high temperatures were finally over, and soon, everyone realized that this was just the beginning of another test. Sister Shinrua, why isn't the rain stopping? The children asked in confusion. I patted their backs and comforted them. It will end. The continuous rainfall lasted for a month, and then it turned into snow. The power supply time was even shorter, becoming only 2 hours a day. The solar power generation panels were long useless, so I switched to wind generators and diesel generators. But the output is not continuous with these either. To save resources, we moved into a large room to live together. Every night, we sat by the fireplace, and Lin Jie and I told stories to the children to lull them to sleep. Until one day, I was woken up from my sleep by a video call. Gu Shinrua, is that you? You're not dead yet. Gu Sini's teeth, grinding voice came through. What madness are you on again? You told those idiots about us hiding supplies in the basement and incited them to steal. Didn't you go crazy for money and push people to a dead end? They deserve to starve to death. I'm a Chongseungje reborn person. I should step on them to survive. I was amused by her anger. Then may I ask, since you're a Chongseungje reborn person, did you foresee the current extreme cold apocalypse? Gu Sini's face stiffened. Zhao Shulan took the phone and said tremblingly, Shinrua, it's too cold now. The air conditioner is broken, and the food we stored was robbed by bad people. We are cold and hungry. Do you have a way? I chuckled and aimed the camera at the fireplace and the abundant supplies in my home. Seeing that my place was warm and well stocked, the three of them's eyes lit up green. Roro, where are you? Hurry up and pick us up. I sneered. You guys don't think she's the only Chongseungje reborn person, do you? Gu Sini turned ashen. How is that possible? You're reborn too. Shinrua, you've been reborn too. That's great. Hurry up and bring us over. Our family can be reunited. I put on a surprised expression. Didn't Ren tell you? In our past life, your family of 3 kicked me out of the house. Am I some kind of worthless person? Oh dear. Roro, Xiane has told us everything. It was all a misunderstanding. That's right. Lyra, how have I taught you since you were little? In a family, there are no grudges that last overnight. Good sister, I'll kneel down and beg you. I was wrong. Please save me. Looking at the 3 people in front of me with frostbitten faces and shivering, who finally lowered their heads and begged me pitifully, I felt no ripple in my heart. You're overthinking it. Their lives and deaths are none of my business. Hearing my answer, the 3 on the opposite side stopped pretending and started to curse at me with abusive language, while I, too lazy to bother with their barking, directly blacklisted them. The next time I saw news from the Gu family was a month later. By then, the temperature had dropped to minus 60 degrees, and there were only half an hour of electricity supply each day. Zhao Shulan appeared in the community group after a long time. Kind neighbors, please save our family. We don't have winter clothes, no heating equipment at home, and no food left. Her voice choked with sobs. My daughter and husband are sick from the cold. They both have high fevers. Please save them. I looked at the 3 of them curled up in bed in the video. Alara's face was flushed red. His lips had no color at all, and he had already fainted. Ren's face was pale and she couldn't stop coughing. The frostbite on her face was bleeding, and she said weakly, we can pay for medicine. 1 million for 1 pill. I have money. But in the group chat, there were only endless taunts. Heaven forgive who. 3 months ago, when my son had a fever of 43 degrees, you wouldn't even lower the price by 1,000 yuan. And my son almost didn't make it. Ren, my husband knelt down and kowtowed 20 times back then, and you wouldn't even give us 2 bottles of water. Now, I'll give you back your own words. The apocalypse is survival of the fittest. You don't deserve to live. A week later, The residents of the community found the 3 members of the Gu family frozen to death in their home. Meanwhile, I was at home making dumplings with the children around the fireplace. It was Lunar New Year again. Although the environment was harsh, Lin Jie and I were determined to give the children a festive holiday. As we were eating the steaming hot dumplings, a long, lost voice came from the recorder. Dear citizens, thank you for your patience. The municipality wishes everyone a happy new year. We have good news to announce. In response to the extreme weather, the government has completed the first batch of shelters located at. Hearing this, everyone in our circle burst into tears. After waiting for so long, we finally got it. Our country truly hasn't given up on us. The next day, we packed our belongings and set off on our journey to the shelter, believing that from now on, the road ahead would surely be bright and smooth.